of the Always Believe House. Oh, today we're going to have FUN, fun, because we're going to do the test review for the Test O Wednesday. Ho, 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 ho. So a magical whiteboard appears, and let's start rocking and rolling. This test is about slope and a little bit about domain and range, x and y intercepts. You should do well on this, especially if you remember how to do the calculator. Okay, so number one, we want the rate of change of this function. Okay, so we're going to put this into a spreadsheet and calculate the rate of change. Remember, the rate of change and the slope is the same thing. On the calculator, it's letter M. So letter M is your slope, which is what we're looking for on the calculator. So we're going to go to the calculator, we're going to hit home, and we're going to make a spreadsheet. So one, you don't save anything on your calculator. We're going to click 4, and then we're up here, we're going to type in our X and our Y, right? Use the up and down buttons to get the X and Y up there. And I don't want R, I want Y. So I got my X and my Y up there. Now then I'm going to put the table in. So my table is going to be 60 to 100 on the X's. So 60, enter, 70, enter, 80, enter. Enter, sorry about that, and 100 enter, making sure this is recording. Now that I'm going over and I'm going to put in my X's. So my X's are going to start with, let me get the paper, 50 to 74, and they go by 6s. So 50, 56, 62, 68, and 74. Okay, once I get this in, remember you got to run a stack calculation. It's a lot of punches on the calculator. So we're going to hit menu, stat calculation, linear regression. So menu, and it's menu 413. Menu stat calculation, linear regression is 3, X down, Y down, and then hit enter, and ho, 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 ho. My slope is right here. The number to the right of M is 0.6. We must make that a fraction. So we have to copy and paste that onto the calculator pad. So I'm going to put my blue thing over the 0.6, Control C, and then hit Home and A to calculate. Home and A to calculate, and then I'm going to hit Control V to paste. Control V, paste. And then I get 0.6. Now the menu number approximate to fraction. So menu, and I'm just at 2, enter. Menu number, approximate to fraction, enter, and the 0.6 or the 6/10 is 3/5. So the answer to number 1 is going to be 3 over 5. Ho, 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 ho. Go to number 2. Okay, on number 2, if you read the problem, we want the y-intercept of the graph. Your y-intercept is going to be the starting amount. We'll do this when we graph lines. That's where you start when you graph a line. It's also the initial amount of money you have. So if you zoom into this table, my starting amount right here is at $30. So I start my bank savings account with 30 bucks. Let's look at the check. The answer choices, his initial amount of money was 30 bucks. The initial amount is the same thing as the starting amount. Let's keep going to number 3. Okay, we want to know the rate of savings. The rate at which you're saving money is the same thing as the slope. So we need to make a T-chart, and we need 2 ordered pairs off of this. So I'm going to zoom in. My first ordered pair is right here, and it's at 0, 30. Now then I'm going to go over to, let's say, to week 2. I'm going to go up right here. It hits this grid point. That would be 2, 40, wouldn't it? Okay, so I need to make this T-chart 0, 30, and 2 and 40. Now at the same time, I'm going to do this by hand. You put this in the T-chart and you'll get the answer. Your slope is y minus y over x minus x. That's the formula that they give you. Y'all look up here at the paper. I'm going to do this and this. This is going to end up being x minus x. This will be y minus y. From 0 to 2 is 2 units. From 30 to 40 is 10 units. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm saving at $5 per week, which is what the slope will be. So if you put that into the T-chart, that's what it's going to give you, okay? It's going up and over 1, but the scale on the y-axis is not 1, it's by 5s. So you're saving $5 a week. Make sure you're writing down the ordered pairs so you don't mess up. Now then, let's go to number 4. I want the slope of this table. And we're going to do this one by hand again. You can put this in the T-chart. We're going to do it by hand because everything's positive. So I'm going to do this one and this one. This will be my x minus x. This will be my y minus y. Just put this into the T-chart. I'm doing this to make the video quicker. But if you put it in the T-chart, it will calculate your slope. So from here to here is 1, and from here to here is 3. So if I were to make my y minus y over x minus x, I would get 3 over 1, which is 3. If you put that table into the chart, into the calculator, the m is going to end up being 3. Let's go to number 5. Same thing. A lot of slope on this problem. We're actually going to use the calculator here because we got negatives. So we got negative 2 and 8 and 1 and 2. So I'm going to put this ordered pair into the calculator. So I'm going to go to the calculator. I'm going to hit home. I'm going to hit 1 for new. I do not want to save anything. I'm going to create a spreadsheet, and then I need to put the x and y on the top. And then go to 1. And then my two ordered pairs are negative 2 and 8 and 1 and 2. So negative 2 and 8 and 1 and 2. It's easier if you were to do all of the x's and all the y's. I'm just doing this because I got a touch pen and I can put them in real quick. So those are my two ordered pairs. I'm going to check again to make sure it's right. That's correct. Now then I'm going to do menu 413, right? So menu, stat calculations, linear regression, x down, y down, and then hit enter. Ho, 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 ho. And my m is right there. My slope is negative 2. If it were a decimal, I would have to copy and paste it. So I'm going to go to my paper, and my slope right here is at negative 2. Let's look at this by hand. If we did this by hand, from negative 2 to 1 on the x-axis would be a positive 3. From 8 to 2 on the y-axis would be a negative 6. Negative 6 over 3 is going to be negative 2. But just do the calculator because you won't mess up on your arithmetic if you use the calculator. Let's go to number 6. Same thing. We're going to make an XYT chart. We want to know the slope of the line with those 2 points. Negative 2 and 8, negative 2 and 1. Now then, this one's funky. Look at what happens when you subtract. What's the difference from negative 2 to negative 2? It's 0 in it. From 8 to 1 is negative 7. If I make my slope, I get this. I can't divide by 0. So the slope, remember the slope band. Let's draw our slope band. So we have a plus and a minus, and then the nose is a U, and we have 2 zeros for the mouth, and then a positive slope is an eyebrow going up, a negative slope is an eyebrow going down, an undefined slope is the nose, and a flat line is the mouth. So 0 slope, undefined slope, this is going to be an undefined slope. Now then, let's put this into the calculator just one time so you can see what happens when you do this. So we're going to go to the calculator. We're going to hit home, 1. We're going to click no. We want a spreadsheet. We got to put x and y at the top every single time, kind of tedious. And then we want our slope. A point, it's negative 2 and 1 and negative 2 and 8. I think I got it backwards, but it's negative 2 both of them, right? Now then, let's do menu, 4, 1, 3, x down, y down, and then hit enter, and it gives us the syntax error, doesn't it? That means it cannot do that calculation because it's trying to divide by 0. So if you have an undefined slope, it's going to come up with this every time. The calculator cannot divide by 0. The only one that can do that is Chuck Norris, okay? Let's go to the next one. Okay, this is the same thing as the other problem. It wants the y-intercept of the graph, and it's still 30 bucks. So the initial amount of money was $30. The y-intercept is your starting amount or the initial amount, whatever you're dealing with. Let's go to number 8. We have a table and we want to know the slope. So we're going to put this into a spreadsheet. So let's go to our calculator, hit home, hit 1 for new, and then we're going to click no. We want a spreadsheet 4, and then we got to type in our X and Y. And then we're going to put in the table. So -2 to 2. So -2, enter, -1, enter, 0, enter. You get real quick at this if you do it a lot. Go over and then click up. And I want to go right here. Now that I'm going to put in my Y's, -8 to -2, and it goes down by 1.5. So -8, -6.5. I didn't put that in right. 0.5. -5. -3.5. And -2. Now then, menu 4, and it's not -2. I need a -2, it'll be wrong. If you don't type the numbers in right, it will not give you the right answer. So I got my T-chart correct. Now then, menu, statistics, stack calculation, linear regression, menu 4, 1, 3, X, down, Y, down, and then hit enter. Ho, 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 ho. My slope's right here, 1.5. It's a decimal. I need to make it a fraction. So I'm going to hit Control-C. And that copies it. Hit home in A. Hit Control-V to paste. And then I got my 1.5 there. Now then, menu 2, enter. Ho, 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 ho. The slope's going to be 3 over 2. That means that line goes up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. So let's go to our paper. And the slope is going to be 3 over 2. Or they may have this decimal, since there's decimals in here, 1.5. It could be either one. Let's go to number 9. We want the rate of change from the graph. Make a T-chart, and you got to pull 2 dots off this line. They give you the 2 dots. So this dot and this dot. This dot would be -2, 2, and this dot would be over 2, down 2. So we got to put this into the calculator to get the slope. So let's do this. Very tedious, but you won't miss it if you're doing the calculator. Home. We're going to click 1 for new. We're not going to save anything. 4 for spreadsheet. We got to type X and Y up here. Very tedious, but you got to do it every time. Now we're here. So the points were -2 and 2. I put the points in, and then it was 2, -2. You can't do this on your calculator. I would put all the X's in, all the Y's in. I can't see the spreadsheet. Your cursor should be below the -2. Now then, menu 4, 1, 3. Menu 4, 1, 3. X, down, Y, down. Hit enter, and bam, there's my slope. It's -1. That means this line should be going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Let's look at the line. My slope is -1, and then let's zoom in. The line indeed is going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Does everyone see that? It's going through every single grid point. So every single time you're going down 1 over 1, that's the rate of change of the line. Let's go to number 10. Same thing, we're going to make a T-chart. Are y'all getting the hang of this? Over and over, -8 and 4, -6, -3. We got to put this into the calculator. This is tedious. You won't miss them if you're using the calculator. So we're going to hit home, 1, no, and then click 4 for spreadsheet. We got to type in the X and the Y. Now then we're going to go to the count. Let me get the numbers. -8, 4, -6, 3. So -8, 4, -6, and 3. Let me make sure those are right. -8, 4, -6, -3. So this 3 needs to be a -3. Now then, all my numbers are in right. -8, -6, 4, -3 for the Y's. I'm going to do menu 4, 1, 3. Menu, statistics, 1 for stack calculation, linear regression 3, X down, Y down, enter. Ho, 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 ho. And bam, there's my slope. -3.5 is to the right of M. So I need to switch that to a decimal. So hit the Control and C for copy, and then hit Home and A. We're going to hit Control-V to paste. We got the -3.5, then menu 2, enter. Menu, number, approximate to fraction, enter. Enter. And bam, negative 7 over 2. Ho, 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 ho. Negative 7, Jiminy Crickets, over 2. Or negative 3.5 if they give you a decimal. It probably won't be a decimal. Let's do this by hand. From negative 8 to negative 6 on the x-axis is a positive 2. From 4 to negative 3, you're going down. That's a negative 7. The fraction would be negative 7 over 2, would it? Very interesting on that. Let's keep going. We want an x-intercept of 3 and a y-intercept of negative 5. So my x right here is at 3 and my y right here is at negative 5. This doesn't work. X at 3, y at negative 5, that one doesn't work. X at 3, y at negative 5, that one doesn't work. And look at letter D. It crosses as x equal negative 3 and it crosses at the negative 5. That's the answer. Oh, 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 oh. We're almost done. Fun, fun, fun. We want to find the slope of this graph. We need 2 ordered pairs. So the first one I'm going to use right on the y-intercept. That is 0, negative 1. So on our t-chart, we're going to have 0, negative 1. And then the next ordered pair I could get is right here. That is 2, 2. So notice we have our this is 0, positive 1. Jiminy Crickets, what am I thinking of? So 0, 1 for our first point and 2, 2 for our second point. Now then, I don't see any negatives on this. I'm going to do this by hand. We could put this in the calculator. From 0 to 2 on the x-axis is 2. From 1 to 2, you're going up 1. My slope is going to be y minus y over x minus x. It's going to end up being 1/2. Now then, zoom in and look at this line. It goes up 1 and it goes over 2, doesn't it? That's what the slope means. That means the line's going up 1, right 2. If I were to do that again, I would get back on the line, wouldn't I? Every time I go up 1 over 2, I'm getting on the line, so my slope's going to be 1/2. Also notice that this line is going up, and it has a positive slope. C and D would be wrong, wouldn't they? Because C and D is a negative slope. Let's go to number 13. Remember the slope man. This slope would be undefined, wouldn't it? That would be his nose, wouldn't it? The nose is a U right here. So that slope is undefined. It's going down. It's not even a function, is it? Because the x's are repeating. Turn the page. We're almost done. Let's go to number 14. Find the slope. Y'all see how much you're doing this? Find the slope of 2 points. You got negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, and 9. Notice right here, the x's are not changing, are they? So if the x's don't change, it's not a function, it's an undefined slope. Ho, 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 ho. And then let's keep going. The last one, kind of sad, but it's the last one. The 0 of a line is the x-intercept. So all we got to do on this problem is get the x-intercept. If you look at this line, it crosses the x-axis right here. The x-intercept is negative 1. That's what you would put in if you had to type it in. Oh, what a day. What an amazing day I've had. Y'all are going to do wonderful on this test. Watch the video over again. There's a lot of slope. Make sure you can use a calculator. You're going to do wonderful because you believe you are going to be successful. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things. And you are awesome.